Welcome to American Press Productions, independent political analysis. These are today's top stories. Last week, the Democratic National Committee announced they will not host any of the Democratic debates on Fox News. DNC Chair Tom Perez said the relationship between Fox News and the White House is inappropriate. It's no secret that the top priority of Democratic Party leadership has been to remove Trump from office and oppose all he wants to accomplish, even at the expense of the average American. But perhaps the truth is, there is no average American anymore. Just last week, the Democratic-controlled House passed a bill, which is likely to die in the Republican-controlled Senate, that will have many federal and state agencies, such as the Department of Motor Vehicles and state universities, automatically register people to vote in our elections. 12 states already allow illegal immigrants to obtain a driver's license, and citizenship is not required for university admission. The wording of the bill allows for the possibility of illegal immigrants to be registered to vote in this automatic process. There is even a section which states that if an illegal immigrant is registered to vote, they simply have to state that they unknowingly made a mistake, and that frees them from any prosecution on the state or federal level, and will not impact their naturalization process. Connecticut Representative Democrat Jim Himes doesn't agree with the DNC's decision to not hold any 2020 primary debates on Fox News. His reason is that he believes if you put the Democrats' ideas against the, quote, nonsense, end quote, from Republicans, the Democrats' ideas will be appealing. But to whom are those ideas appealing? As the Democrats apparently push to allow illegals to vote and fight against a citizenship question being added to the census, it seems the Democrats have forgotten that they are supposed to represent Americans, not foreigners, especially those who came into this country illegally. But with an estimated population of around 12 million illegal immigrants, even if only 1/10 of them accidentally registers to vote, that could be enough to swing states such as Florida permanently blue, even Texas in the future. So while Jim Himes' stance on exposing his ideas to conservative viewers might have had merit back in, say, 2006, when Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Chuck Schumer, and 23 other Democrats voted for the 2006 Secure Fence Act responsible for 700 miles of barrier along our southern border, the politics of today have changed, as Democrats court anyone born in Central and South American countries as potentially future voters for their party. So it doesn't make any sense to have any Democratic primary debates on a network whose viewership is fundamentally opposed to what the candidates fight for. It's all a power grab at the expense of the well-being of what once was the average American. Senator Lindsey Graham met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in the Israeli-Syrian contested territory of the Golan Heights today. Speaking to the press there, Netanyahu said, quote, "The Golan is part of Israel. The Golan must stay part of Israel," end quote. Lindsey Graham responded with apparent support for Netanyahu's assertion. Quote, "What's best for America is for a safe, secure, and prosperous Israel," end quote. Israel seized the Golan Heights from Syria in the 1967 Six-Day War. It has been under Israeli military occupation since, and Israeli settlements have been built in the area, but it has never been internationally recognized as sovereign Israeli territory. Israel originally took the territory because of its access to fresh water and the topographical benefits to its military. It allows the Israeli military to oversee far into Syrian territory. Syria has never given up its claim to the Golan Heights, but now there's a new stake at play. In 2015, American company Genie Energy's Israeli subsidiary, Afek Oil and Gas, discovered an oil reservoir worth potentially billions of barrels. And Genie has all the pull it needs to sway the might of the U.S. to back Israel's claim on the Golan Heights. Major investors and advisors of the company include the Rothschild banking family, former Vice President Dick Cheney, former U.S. Ambassador, former U.S. Secretary of Energy, and former Governor of New Mexico, Democrat Bill Richardson. news media mogul Rupert Murdoch and former CIA Director James Woolsey. Now that ISIS has largely been defeated in Syria and the civil war seems to be nearing an end, there is little hope of a fracturing of Syria or of the departure of Bashar al-Assad. In recent weeks, Israel has been seen moving military personnel and equipment north towards the Golan Heights, towards Syria. In January, Israel admitted firing rockets at Iranian targets in Syria. In response, the commander of the Iranian Air Force said that Iran is prepared for a decisive war, quote, which will bring an end to Israel's attacks on Syria, end quote. Lindsey Graham's visit to the Golan Heights, alongside Prime Minister Netanyahu, may signal growing U.S. support for another U.S. war for the benefit of Israel. With Iran and possibly Russia backing Syria, what will the cost be this time? A Washington Post correspondent recently sat down with Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi for an interview. He asked her about the calls from members of the Democratic Party to impeach President Trump, who has been accused of numerous wrongdoings, perhaps worst of all, colluding with the Russian government and being a puppet of Vladimir Putin. These are serious allegations. The Senate has already investigated them and found nothing. Democrats in the House are threatening to open up investigations of their own, and Special Counsel Robert Mueller has been working for almost 2 years to uncover any evidence of wrongdoing on President Trump's part. Mueller's investigation is reportedly nearing its end. But back to Pelosi's answer. She said, quote, "Impeachment is so divisive to the country that unless there's something so compelling and overwhelming and bipartisan, I don't think we should go down that path. Because it divides the country, and he's just not worth it." End quote. Perhaps this answer signals what many believed all along, that there was nothing to the Russian collusion claims. Interesting choice of words by Pelosi, that impeachment hearings would divide the country, which is exactly what the Democratic Party and their colluders in the news media have been doing since Trump was elected president, with their daily attacks, twisting his words, the never-ending accusations and allegations. They give President Trump all the evidence he needs to label them all fake news.